Hey everybody. I apologize for the strain in my voice. I'm really excited to get this series going. Everything in these videos, I'm not gonna have a script for. I'm kind of just going. I'll be building new stuff in Minecraft, so that's a very exciting. This is just my solo world, so don't mind all these random floating leaves here. Um, But yeah, kind of what I hope to intend with this series is, showing my progress with what I'm building, but also just chatting, you know. Uh, I'm a I'm a natural yapper, even though, topics might not be the brightest or the funnest to talk about. I'm kind of just here to yap, and I'm excited to see where this goes. Um, I hope it's more peaceful. That's my intent with it. Just kind of be relaxed and yeah, I don't really have a direction yet. I don't have any crazy fun intros that some YouTubers will have. I don't even consider myself a YouTuber, you know? It's more of I'm just doing this because I like doing it, and it gets my words out there, whether they're heard or not, and my creativity. I mean, it's not every day someone starts a series on YouTube of all things where they're just building in a creative world and relaxing, you know? I I also don't have my friends to guide my creative choices here. So when I build something, it's probably going to be a little weird at first. Um, I can always go back and kind of change how things look. But right now, I am not too concerned about that. I think I think it'll kind of come along as we go, you know. And whether that be really cool or really not, either way, I'm gonna have fun with it. So um, today I don't really have much to talk about other than just the feeling of wanting to do better and trying to do better, but not being certain if you are doing better. Um, being better takes a lot of progress, and that's no shame to anybody out there. Like you just got to keep trying. I know for me it's a struggle because there's days where I just feel like, what am I doing? You know, not every day is something I think about. And I kind of take it for granted. I feel like we all take it for granted. Um, I've been trying to live my day-to-day life being more thankful for the things I have, the things that I've got to experience, the feelings and non-feelings I've had. I thought I filled this whole thing in, but I must be losing my mind. Okay, there we go. Um, as I was saying though, it's something that I feel needs to be focused on more in the present. We don't get a lot of this opportunity, and I've been trying to be more subconscious about that. I've been trying to have this mindset of don't let. Oh, I love the graphics in this game. It definitely harms the frame rate though. But yeah, don't let these like thoughts kind of control me in a way that I'm like, oh well, I'm not thinking about what the reality is. And the reality is different from what I'm feeling, you know? That's not to excuse anything necessarily, but it's also not meant to it's not meant to say that what I'm experiencing isn't happening or what I'm feeling isn't valid, but it's more of a way to consider everyone else in those feelings. I struggle with it a lot. Um, in my personal life, I've always had this, idea of what could I have done better? Like why do these things happen and why are they so out of my control? And I need to start thinking more of these things happen for a reason. Not every day is about me. There's things in my friends' lives that are going on. There's things in my family's lives. It's not just about me. And I tend to overlook that. Um, and I'm not saying that others don't think about that, but it's something I wish was thought about more. Like, I'm constantly thinking of how my actions impact people and how decisions I've made in the past have impacted relationships now. And heck, even mistakes I made unknowingly, um, whether that be accidental mistakes or mistakes that have happened that I just never got the chance to apologize for. Um, I need to just let go of those things, and I've been doing my best to do that. I've been doing my best not to really think about it. Um, does that mean I'm not gonna think about it? No, because I'm definitely gonna keep thinking about it. But I've been trying to give it to God. Uh, the first place and the first person I should go to is God, and I've been praying a lot on how to do that, how to calm myself, how to be better. It's not an easy process for me. I struggle quite a bit. Um, a lot of things have happened in my life where it's like I don't feel this is fair. And in some cases, sure, it's not fair, but it happens. And God's calling me to understand that not everything is necessarily about me. It just happens this way. And while I have the control to remain calm and to tell myself that that's what happens, I also need to understand that not everybody knows exactly what's happening, and maybe I need to do a better job at expressing that. Maybe I need to do a better job at explaining how I feel. Um, and God knows I have trouble doing that too. I don't need to go into detail about things, necessarily on YouTube, but it's more of how this doesn't look great. I think that's what it is. But it's like, how can I express, you know, what I'm feeling to people if I can't get it out? If I have a hard time being able to say, yeah, this is what I'm feeling. Um, you know, people are just gonna take me as a joke and, you know, not care. And of course, you know, maybe I don't need to overshare. But I also think it's important that, you know, the people close to you know how you're feeling. Uh, you know, how can they tell that you're upset? How can they tell that you're angry with them if you never quite tell them? You know, and it's okay to give yourself room to think about how much they mean to you, but also to give yourself time to think about what you're gonna say. I've always struggled with explaining exactly what I feel, and it's not an easy process for me. I don't know why. Um, it's how I've been since I've been young, and it's not an excuse. I'd say I'm definitely trying to do a lot better. I'm trying to not let it be an excuse, but I can't help but feel like sometimes it defines me. You know, it's hurt. It's hurt relationships of mine in the past, and I don't want it to define any future relationships I have. Um, you know, and I know I'm not perfect. I never will be. No one ever is. But that's what life's about, is learning. Learning from those mistakes, learning from those pitfalls, being able to tell yourself that you are trying, you know? And with the praying has come a lot of mindset changes. I'm working so hard to limit my cursing. Um, I feel that's really reflected in my videos. Not a lot of videos lately have any cursing in them. I don't think. Maybe some with my buddies, and even those, I'm still kind of like, I wish I didn't. I wish I didn't say that or do that. You know. This is so weird looking. Hold on, what did I do wrong? That's what I did. Um, you know, and like I said, I'm not following a script here. I think it's a little better to just, you know, talk about it, get it out there. Um, Oftentimes the best and most honest conversation is the conversation you have where you are just going on about something. Um, and I think that's something that not a lot of YouTube has. I feel a lot of it is very scripted, and you know, I don't want to be that way. I really don't. So my intent here is to just lay it all out, talk the way I normally talk, and you know, if you guys like that, you like it. If you don't, you know, well, there's other channels. So yeah, maybe I should have preferenced that a little more in the intro. Um, but like I said, it's not scripted, so I'm going by the book here. Um, I really need to stop using ums. I'm using them a lot right now. So why does this world have so many enemies? Guys, I love the water. The water's so beautiful. I just wish I could use texture packs in vivid mode. It's a little upsetting. Just a wee bit. What was that noise? Oh. Okay, anyway. As I was doing before, I'm gonna fix this. It should be all even now. I apologize for how much this is gonna jump around too. I mean, 1 minute I might be talking about something really deep, next minute I might just be joking about stuff in the game. Maybe even just random conversation. I really don't know. I don't like that. Let's do this. And I expect every one of these videos to be relatively on the long side. So I hope a conversation doesn't really drag out. But I also don't want the conversation to necessarily define any of these videos. If I wanted it to be defined, I'd probably make it a little shorter and then maybe script it there. I still don't like that approach though, so I've started this world a little while ago just to kind of explain what this world is. I started it, I laid out a plot of land, I broke all the blocks. This was off screen, obviously. I broke all the blocks to make this area. I want to try to actually build something a little more big and castle-like. I've always been a little too ambitious for my own good in this game. And it'll really show in these videos. I can guarantee it. It would not be a surprise to me if, these builds get a little wonky. A lot of my friends have told me that I'm overzealous. And you know what? I will take that as it is, because I don't mind. I'm unique. I am who I am. And so, nothing's gonna change that other than myself, right? If I want to change a part of me that I don't like, I'm allowed to do that. If I want to fix a part of me I feel needs to be fixed, I want to be able to do that too. So, this is going to be a journey. I'm from the beginning have not expected a lot of people to see these videos or to even give them a day and time, really my intent here is to more so just express myself. I think at this point in time I have 6 subscribers, I think. And, in my eyes it might be 6 too many. I think it's cool, and I've had some interactions. Some people have liked some of my videos. I'm not in it for the likes though. I'm just in it to be expressive and to be myself. And maybe that sounds like I'm repeating the same things. Believe me, I'm not intending to. When you're starting out and doing something this grand, and honestly for me scary, I'm putting myself out there. I'm, doing this relatively on my own. A lot of my guitar stuff I'm doing on my own. You know, zombies for the most part is on my own. I have my buddy William, and he, you know, he really has been there for me through some of this stuff I've been doing on YouTube. He, gosh, he recommended that I break down that 3 hour long video, but I want variety on my channel, so I felt that it gave that variety, you know. People who like longer videos can watch that video. Um, it was kind of my first attempt at editing just to see how it works and if it works. I'm not too certain on it at the moment. Um, but you know, like I talked about in one of my guitar videos, I am planning a Donkey Kong Country Ranks video. And yeah, it's gonna be fun. I can see it being something that is gonna drag on for a while, and it's for sure gonna be a good thing. Like I am extremely, oh my goodness, extremely excited to see what comes of that. Um, I did originally want help with it, but I got to the point where I figured that I don't need the help necessarily. I have another friend of mine, not gonna name drop, just because you know this is YouTube, not not anything that people need to know about, really. Let's, yeah, no, that works. Um, but I asked if he wanted to kind of do the voice on one of my videos, and he said maybe, but also he has never played Donkey Kong, so you know, shout out to my buddy. He would not be able to help with that, I feel like. Like that's definitely something I need to figure out on my own. Unless I know of a friend who has played it and enjoys the game as much as me. So I think when that video becomes a thing, I will definitely let people know. I mean, it's not, like I said, it's not something I got set in stone quite yet. I have some footage. I am still compiling my list and looking forward to what. Oh my gosh, I didn't even realize the lighting on the bricks. And this song is so nostalgic to me. I miss the old Minecraft, I really do. Also, there's a portal over there. Look at that. Also, for those who want to know the name of this world, not that it matters, because it really honestly doesn't. But I name almost all my Minecraft stuff based off of Super Mario Galaxy. Really goofy, I know, but the reason why is just because I think Nintendo was really creative with that game. And I just love the ending when Mario's like, "Welcome, new galaxy!" Like, it's just so, absolute cinema, you know? Like, who would have thought that Nintendo would make such a banger of a game, you know? What am I doing here? I'm making this too long. It needs to go about here. So I need to break all these. But yeah, where I was going with that is that I really enjoy playing and doing stuff on my channel that, one, I feel is beneficial. You know, like the guitar stuff. I think that can help other people who are trying to learn guitar. And you know, I'm not perfect at any of this by any means. But I do think that being able to just share what I've experienced is going to help a lot of other people, and I am happy to be able to do that. You know, if I can have an outlet and put my voice out there and help others, why not? You know, why in the heck not? And I think just all of what goes on can sorry, that sheep kind of scared me there. Can be shared, you know? It's not just an experience to really have alone. Like, yes, most of my videos it's just me. Um but I'm still sharing something. Um like in this video, I'm sharing what I'm building. Not that it's like super fancy or anything. The fancy graphics help, sure, but more so what I'm thinking is I'm sharing my advice, my feelings, my words, and you know, words only go so far, but they are definitely something that matter. You know, your voice matters, and to anyone who's watching this and who watches this in the future, like don't let your voice be silenced. You know, you might struggle with your emotions and your feelings. You might struggle with how people perceive you, and you know, to those who are struggling with that, you know, don't don't let it stop you. Like, please don't let it stop you. I let it stop me a few times in my life, and you know, I really regret that. I wish there was more I could have done. I wish there was more that I could have said, expressed, and I would just stay silent. Uh, and I don't wish that on anybody. That's not a feeling that I think should be felt. I would never want someone to feel that feeling. And part of part of it is I wouldn't want that on anybody. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. It's not a fun feeling. And for those who struggle with it, like they know exactly what I'm talking about. They know that it's it's a hard thing to go through. Um, but even with that, you still make a conscious effort to put yourself out there. You still make that effort to show up and be there for people, even when you don't necessarily feel like it. I know there's been countless times where I've just felt like, no, I don't want to I don't want to put myself out there. I don't want to be heard subconsciously, because I feel like, you know, no matter what I do, I'm always making a mistake. No matter what I do, it's upsetting people. And, you know, having that mindset, it's not a good mindset. You can't just dog on yourself constantly. Cuz like what good does that do for you and for the people that are around you? I read a quote. It's a I think it's a pretty solid quote. That says, you know, the people that love you care about you, and you need to let them be there for you. Like they're not going to be burdened by helping you. They're not going to be you know, upset with you for wanting what's best for yourself and for them. And I think it's really really powerful. Cuz you know, if they love you and care about you, they will be there. You know, it's that simple. I personally I think it's really that simple. Um you know, life is challenging. Life does get pretty difficult. But that's no reason to not show the people that you care about that you care about them, you know? Be there for them. No matter what it takes, no matter how hard life is, be there. And just be you in that process, you know? Don't let it get shut out. You know? And people that get upset about you expressing yourself, then maybe they don't love you. You know, maybe they're not a person that you want to define how you are. Um, you know, previously in the past, I've had to just let go of my feelings and realize that, like, you know, yeah, this person's been in my life for a while, but gosh, you know, when they reach out, they ask how you're doing, you respond, and then you ask how they're doing, and they never respond. Or they do something so silly, let's say. I have a friend that, you know, we've been friends since, gosh, elementary school, and he'll reach out, right? And I try my hardest to reach out to him and see what's going on. And yet somehow, every time he reaches out, I reach out back, he'll never respond. I still care about him. I still wonder what he's up to, you know? It's, gosh, it's been forever since I've last heard from him. I still see things on Facebook and Instagram. You know, I know he's doing all right. But he just does his own thing, and you know, good on him. Like, there's no need to have to report to people, you know, and like I really don't want that to be the message. And clearly, as I'm saying this, you know, I feel like a lot of times in my life I've been misrepresented or misunderstood, and that's the easiest way I can explain it. You know, I'd say something and someone would be like, "Whoa, that's out of line," and it's like, no, that's not what I meant. Like, why are you taking it out of line? You know, um, and that's happened so many times. It's happened so much to me that I feel it's quite frankly defined me. Um, and I'm just here to say that don't let it define you. You know, don't let those moments be. Oh my gosh, this controller. Don't let those moments be what you made them out in your head to be. You know, sure, maybe someone saying, "Oh my gosh, that was out of line," or you know, that wasn't funny, or that wasn't, you know, you shouldn't say that. Like, that's not cool. And it was something as simple as I was just trying to, you know, give someone advice or something. I think what it really all boils down to is that you just can't force those people to stay in your life, right? You can't force them to choose you. You can't force somebody to accept you for who you are. And I think I'm gonna extend this a little bit more. And to those who are watching this, like, you know, if you think that maybe I'm just rambling and I sound stupid, you know, that's fair. I'm not gonna say you can't have that opinion, but I'm genuinely trying to express that being yourself should be something you choose, something you do, and you shouldn't change yourself for anybody. You shouldn't force a change on yourself because you think, oh, well, people don't want to stay in my life because I'm like this or I'm like that. Like, no, you know, if they're gonna go, they're gonna go. If they really cared, they would show they really cared. And in terms of that friend, I mean, it's been a long time since he's reached out. The last I saw him was, gosh, probably over 6 months now. It's been a long time. And like I said, I really do care for this guy. It's not like I'm just, oh, you know, whatever, tough case. Like, no, I definitely still care. And, you know, I will still make attempts to reach out. But I'm no longer gonna associate or hurt myself trying to do that. And other people should follow that same thing for themselves, you know? Like don't hurt yourself trying to keep people in your life, and don't feel obligated to have people be there, you know? You don't have to do that to yourself. Why do that to yourself? It's not fair to you. It's, you know, it's also not fair to the other people. You can't control them. You can't be a controlling person. If you live your life trying to be a controlling person, I don't know what to tell you. Other than I think you should find a way to de-escalate that. You know, de-escalate that feeling of wanting to control. Oh. Did I not think this through? I don't think I thought this through. But yeah, so I personally still care about a lot of people in my life, but I've also come to realize, like, and know my place. And, you know, if my place isn't there, I'm not gonna force that. I will never force that. I will never make friends think that I have to be a priority. I myself know, of course, that that's what I am. But I will never force my friends to make me a priority. And it took me a long time to realize that. Even coming into my religious aspect of things and understanding, I will still be there, of course. I will still be there for people. I'll never not be there. But I also know when something is done, it's done. And it took me a lot of hard lessons to realize that. I like to think of myself as someone who tries to find the poetry in everything, who tries to understand everybody, understand myself, understand, you know, that everything and everyone has intricate, intricately woven path, you know. Um, and any one soul you meet, there's a reason you met him. There's always a reason. God doesn't put people in your life without having a reason for it. Whether that is to make you a better person, to make you do something, to make you feel inspired, to make you feel, you know, worthy, he puts them there. And I think at the end of the day, no matter where I'm at, no matter what I've done, no matter who I'm trying to be, it's all been shaped from the very day I was born. And that goes for everybody. Everybody on this planet. All, what, 7.3 quadrillion people. I know I'm being dramatic at this point, but I'm serious. I believe God has a plan. He has a plan for every single one of us, and, you know, it's not up to us to control that. It's really, really not. And I have learned that. It's just reality. It's the truth. And gosh, thinking back on all the memories I have and all the mistakes I've made, all the pitfalls that I've had, all the trauma, all the opportunity for growth. I think it was designed from the beginning. And that zombie sounds terrifying. And I don't know, maybe some people watching this aren't religious, but the only thing I can say to that is look around you. You know? I think it's really hard to just say that none of this wasn't created by someone with power way beyond our belief, our understanding. You know, and maybe to you I just sound crazy. That's okay. But one day I hope you can find him, and you can find that feeling of knowing even when you're alone, you're not alone. You know? Even with things not looking how you wanted them to be, even with things going the way you wanted them to be. It's never ever what you plan. And, you know, just God giving us these human emotions, these human choices, the ability from right and wrong, morality, it really shapes who we are. And, you know, if I ever get to heaven, I would love to experience everything I ever did. The good, the bad. I'd love for all that to replay, and I'd love to be able to just have that experience of this is what my life meant. And I think for everybody to have that experience, it's just it's beautiful. I don't know how you could think otherwise, you know? Yeah. I just, especially tonight, like before starting this video, I This might sound a little cheesy, but if any of you have watched Loki, especially season 2, there is a soundtrack they have on the last episode, and it's called Purpose is Glorious. Every time I hear that track, it just makes me think of exactly what I've been talking about. How I can be better, how I can be someone that can feel okay being cared about. Someone that is there for people, is there for friends, family, all the above. How can I be that? How can I help shape others? How can I be a guiding light? You know? If I truly want to be better, how can I do that? And anytime I hear that song, I think of that. Tonight I thought about it on a walk back from a friend's house. Like, gosh, the stars are beautiful tonight, and you know, I think that has something to do with what I'm thinking about, maybe at the time, maybe not. But I definitely know that it's not by chance that these things pop up in my mind, and that, you know, these feelings arise from seeing the world I live in, seeing the world that we all live in. You know, it's a big world, sure, but I don't think that's meant to scare me. It's not meant to scare me. It's more meant to show me that it is a big world, and that it's shared. I'm not alone in that. And then just knowing the ending of that show, I mean, it adds so much emotional weight to that too, you know. Um, Even just the title of the song itself, it's impactful. I think her name's Natalie. She's the one that made that that track. I think she did a fantastic job. And I think she did both seasons. So, you know, the story of Loki, I feel, really reflects with people like me, people like me who know that feeling of struggling every day, that feeling of wanting to be better but not sure how they can be, feeling like the cards are stacked against you, and feeling like no matter how much you've tried, it's not working out. I feel for those people, that show really signifies that you do have a purpose. You do have something to offer and something to bring to the table, whether you feel like it or not. And gosh, I could go on and on about that, but I truly think there's a plan, and no matter what we choose to do with it, to say there isn't, is just not right. There's a plan, and one day we'll all know. You know, it's just up to us in this world to make something of it. Also, one thing I do want to kind of touch on, um, if you have some ideas while I'm building all this, like totally, let me know. I am not opposed to reading a comment saying, hey, maybe you should change this or change that. I will do my best to do what I can there. But yeah, I of course am gonna go through this whole thing and break down and put some like broken blocks in between all this, but for now, I think I want to add some stairs here. I have not attempted building something like this, so, you know, be patient with me. Forgive me if it looks a little weird too. I'm trying my best to build my own stuff in Minecraft without being judged. It can happen. I know it'll happen. Gosh. The amount of worlds I have in this game are just insane. I mean, think about all the different platforms and consoles, and it is a real interesting thing to think about for sure. I also think I'm gonna make this a little more. Oh my gosh, this controller. Yeah, it's something I'm saving up for, is a new controller as well. It's really fun when your controller just randomly chooses it's gonna drift. Like, yesterday, my controller's just fine. Played zombies, no drift. Now today, nah, not the case. Let's fix this up a bit. See what I mean? It's just like, yeah, let's go to the side, all the way over there. Because I wanted you to do that. Totally. Okay, cool. I love fancy graphics. The only thing is, I notice it's really around water and rain when the frames kind of drop. Now, I'm not a big nerd with all that stuff. I mean, I wouldn't even necessarily call it nerd. I'm just not a tech genius. I don't really understand the... Other than, yeah, I know it's frames per, what, second or something like 60 FPS. That's as much as I will ever know. I'm not a big PC guy, even though I'm sure I'd be okay with it. I'm not big on it, so. I think that looks weathered, right? Maybe change this one. There we go. And then come over here and change this one. Yeah, why not? Uh, yeah. I think what I need to do next is start making the stairs on this side. That'll at least make it look a little more tower-esque. And of course, I wanna preface too. Well, I guess this is end phase. See what I did there? Pun on Minecraft and the end of the video coming up. Anyway, you know, all my jokes, goofy jokes aside, I just want to say that like this video series is gonna be relatively the same throughout. Of course, leave comments on what you like, what you dislike, what I can change, what you think I should keep doing. You know, since I'm relatively small, I see those things and would love some advice on how to keep this show on a road. You know, not many not many people listen to that advice, I guess. And you know, I just want to be able to be one of those that actually listens. So I think that's evenly balanced. Yeah, you know, I actually kind of want to change this. Let's, gosh. Yeah, and I think next video I might use a different controller, because this is going to drive me nuts. Genuinely nuts. Stick drift insanity is a real thing, y'all. Think. Let's do that. Okay. I also know that this world, I literally, anytime I play on this world, it will only be for recording videos. I kind of wanted to keep that as a guideline for myself. So if I'm ever on a different world, it's either I'm playing with friends or I have decided that I want to experiment with a different world. So yeah, I really need to know what to do here. Should I add blocks in here? I don't know. For now, I'm going to keep this open. I will figure that out in the next video. Whenever the next video is. I don't know. This is a good start, though. I think next time I'll get to building the ground in here. And maybe finding a way to make this a little more... I don't know, a little more enclosed? Maybe... Actually, I think I got an idea. I will add some bricks here. And... Cool. And then how did I do it over there? No. Let's add some changes here. Okay. Well, I think that'll do it for this video, y'all. Thanks for coming to my enormously long TED Talk. I am looking forward to seeing y'all in the next